Hey guys, Barrett here from Pickleball Kitchen. Today we're talking about some shots that every 4-0 pickleball player needs to have, whether you're at that level or you're trying to get to that level. These are some big shots that you must have. Let's get started. As you know, pickleball is growing rapidly, but with that growth comes rapid improvement as well. People are getting better and you need to keep up with your local group in order to really get better. These shots are going to help, and we're going to get started with the volley roll. So, a topspin volley roll really, and that's typically done with the fourth shot. So the third is coming over and you're at the net and you're going to be doing the fourth shot. This is what you want to do. Let's take a look. Now I'm going to show you some footage of how the ball behaves in just a second, but I want to give you first a general look of how this shot works. What's really important is to squat. That's the first thing. We're not letting any of these balls bounce, and what we're going to do, we're going to squat and get our paddle out and below the ball. And then when we're in this position, we come up on the ball like this. Okay, watch. Squat, get the paddle down and then up. What will happen, you will either follow through this way, where you don't cross the center line of your body, or you cross over. However you want to do it is fine. You will probably do both. If you're crossing over like this, you're probably hitting it to the left. Whereas if you're over here, you're trying to keep it on the right from a right-hander's perspective, of course. So that's the first thing. Get down below, get the paddle down like this. And you see how it's kind of lagging behind a little bit? That wrist is coming through first, and then brush up on the ball. Okay, let me show you. Okay, now what you notice there is I didn't cross over. I didn't cross over here. The reason is because I'm on the left side of the court and I don't want balls hooking to the left, so I kept it on my right side. So squat. That was more of a put away. Perfect, just like that. Like that. And again, notice how I'm brushing straight up on the ball, getting low, coming up like that. All these balls are going straight and they have tons of topspin on them. What happens when this is your fourth shot? That topspin will react aggressively off the face of your opponent's paddle and they're more likely to top it up. That's why you have to learn this shot. And by top it up, I mean pop it up. Nice. So that one was a little bit further to my right a little bit. As you can see, I took a step and then did the volley. And what you can tell, again, getting low, getting the paddle down, and then brushing up on the ball like this. You got to push that wrist forward. Let the paddle kind of lag behind a little bit. Watch closely. You see how the paddle kind of lagged behind when I came through that shot? That's one of the big keys. You must have this shot. It is extremely powerful. Now, a lot of you may not know this, but I have a premium video service online on my website called PK Academy. There's 56 videos, over 10 hours of content, extremely detailed stuff. Head on over there. The improvement that people have made in their games is just incredible. Go check it out. The next shot here is a cross-court third of any kind, typically like a soft drive or a third shot dive, as I call it, or a drop in general, but cross-court thirds are extremely powerful. Where you will see them the most often is when you're on the left side of the court here, your forehand is in the middle from a right-hander's perspective, and you're going cross to a right-hander's backhand. That's when you'll use this the most often. So here I am at the baseline. When a shot comes back, all the way over there to the right side of the court. I'm going to show you footage, don't worry, okay? The key to doing a third, there's two big things when it comes to a third cross court. First of all, you have to learn how to open up your body a little bit and start facing the path of the paddle in that direction. We're so used to just hitting right out in front of us and going right back to where we were, but we have to have the confidence to open up the body a little bit, face towards where you want to hit the ball, and push the paddle in that direction. What will happen is you're going to start to hit on the inside of the ball a little bit more. So from a right-handed perspective, the inside is the left side of the ball. We have to feel like we're going to be hitting on that inside part of the ball. So I'm ready, open up, and face the paddle in that direction. That's how, in general, you do that shot. Now, let me give you a better angle here. Nice. Sweet. So that's the first key. Open up the body, get the paddle on that path. Now, the second key here is to understand angles. Now, I'm going to take you back to geometry class. Do you remember the Pythagorean theorem? Oh yes, I just said that. It comes in use here, okay? So if we were to draw a line from this kitchen line to this kitchen line straight, it's 14 feet, right? Because each kitchen is 7 feet. But what if you drew a line from this same point to the corner of the kitchen here? How long is that? Well, even though it's on the same line, it's a much longer distance because there's a diagonal. The diagonals are always longer. So if you're drilling third shot drops straight away, like how people typically do, and all of a sudden you start going cross court, guess what's going to happen? You're going to hit the ball into the net a couple of times, a number of times probably. And that's the tricky thing about cross court thirds, regardless of what they are. You have to hit them a little bit harder because they have to travel further. But there's an advantage to that. It doesn't necessarily have to be a difficult thing. You can use that to your advantage by doing a third shot dive, as I will link up here at the top. That will give it some top spin. Because of the cross court angle, it will bounce out and away from your opponent, similar to what we did with the backhand third in the last video. So try that out. Start doing cross court thirds. They are ridiculous. Now, the third shot here is a top spin serve. Now, when you serve the ball, most people naturally get top spin. But the thing is, though, is that when they get top spin, because the ball is rolling over the net and it's curving down, the serve just ends up landing in the middle of the court, and it doesn't really have much of an effect. So to get top spin on your serve, the first thing you want to do here is make sure you've got the paddle down like this. I have tons of guides about top spin, but generally that's going to be what you want to do. Have the paddle down and then brush up on the ball and make kind of like a windshield wiper motion with your paddle like this, but don't finish over here like this. Finish up here like that next to your ear. And that gives you tons of top spin. That totally just caught Linda off guard, sorry. But that is how you do it. Whip the ball, whip like that. Give it a lot of force, get everything through, and that puts a tremendous amount of top spin on the ball. But that's not the point. Let me change the camera. The point here isn't necessarily the top spin by itself. It's where the top spin lands. You have to focus on hitting it deeper in the court. I highly recommend to set up a camera on the side of the court here and just aim it right down the baseline to see how deep your serves are actually going. Most people serve shorter than they think because of depth perception. It's hard to see. Let me show you what these serves should look like. What you're looking for here is to hit it a little bit higher to let that top spin sink down. You see how the ball sunk down like that? Okay, that's the key. You probably can't see me in the frame. I apologize for that. Do you see how the ball dove down at the very end? Brutal. You want to get these deep. Like that. I want you to notice something. Look how far back Linda is. She's practically hugging that tennis net. If you see someone, actually Linda, go ahead and scoot up to the baseline. Watch. That's brutal. She barely got it over. So again, watch. I mean, you're short hopping those things at that point. And again, it's not so much just getting brutal topspin on the ball. I mean, that's great and all, but it's the positioning in the back that really matters. Okay, the fourth shot here isn't necessarily a shot. It's more like a series of shots, different types of shots, or an action that you can take on the court. And that is change of direction or misdirection. And these are incredibly powerful if you can pull them off, but they can be tough. So if you're in that kind of beginnerish 3-0 stage, you may want to stay away from this for now, but I want you to watch how this works. Now that's a great example of change of direction there. So as you saw, the ball was coming towards my forehand, and then what I did is I pushed my forehand left, and that created this little weird dink that went cross like that. Again, these are not easy to do, but they can be very effective. Let me show it to you from another angle. What's important to learn here is the principle of the matter. The principle is that when you have a ball coming straight at you, you have to intercept the ball with your paddle perpendicularly like this. Okay, it's a perpendicular kind of thing. You also have to understand though that even though when the ball is coming at you, even though you intercept it here, the ball is still going to be traveling in this direction in a way. So it's not a perfect 90-degree angle kind of thing. That's the principle. That's the understanding here. Once you learn that and get used to that, you can then extrapolate that to every shot in the game when it comes to misdirection. So watch carefully. Easy going dink in here. And so as you noticed, I just kind of pushed the paddle in that direction, but I was also respecting the direction the ball was heading in. You have to take into account those two things. That's perfect. Okay, that's change of direction. Take that principle, apply it everywhere, and you're gonna catch a lot of people off guard. I like this example. I do this quite a bit, doing this. I call it the check mark dink, right? When it comes from the corner of the kitchen here, and then you hit it to this corner. I love that kind of dink, but I mean, you can pretty much do it anywhere. Guys, that's it. Those are some shots that will help you at or get to the 4.0 level in pickleball. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, go on over to pickleballkitchen.com/membership to check out that premium video. See you soon.